Okay, everybody, we're going to start this topic out by discussing what is a security officer to begin with. Well, a security guard or security officer, within the meaning of this chapter, is an employee of a private patrol operator or an employee of a lawful business or public agency on or about the premises owned or controlled by the customer of the private patrol operator or by the guard's employer or the company of the persons being protected, such as an in-house type of provider. They agrees to furnish or furnishes a watchman, guard, patrol person, or other person to protect persons or property, or to prevent theft, unlawful taking, loss, embezzlement, misappropriation, or concealment of any goods, wares, merchandise, money, bonds, stocks, notes, documents, papers, or property of any kind, or performs the service of a watchman, guard, patrol person, or other person for any of these purposes. Bsis regulations state to be a security officer, you must be at least 18 years old and undergo a criminal history background check through the California Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and complete the power to arrest training. And further training is further outlined in Title 16 of the California Code of Regulations under Code Section 643 of Security Guard Training. Despite popular belief, California security officers go through a lot of required training and a thorough background check system using a DOJ national database and being fingerprinted before becoming licensed. Since July 1st, 2004, 3 years after 9/11, already licensed security officers are now required to get 8 hours of continuing training every year. Beginning officers will need to complete 8 hours of training in the powers to arrest and weapons of mass destruction. After receiving the guard card, you have to complete a total of 32 hours additional training by the end of your first year, equaling out to 40 hours. Weapons regulations for security. This requires additional training, testing, and hands-on training. Additional training, 16 hours, and licensing to carry a firearm, including a live fire course for your proficiency. You got to be able to hit the target, right? There's 4 hours additional training and licensing to carry pepper spray, and 8 hours of additional training and licensing to carry and own a baton. You cannot even own a baton unless you're licensed. You can own a gun if you're not licensed because that's a constitutional right. However, batons do not fall under the U.S. Constitution. So if you get caught with one out there and you don't have a license, it could be a felony. Security officers are required to renew their guard card license every 2 years. Late fees will apply after the expiration for 30 days. After 60 days, your license is totally expired and you will have to start the process from the beginning all over again. For exposed firearm permits, they need to be renewed every 2 years. They have no late fees. That's because when it is expired, you have to restart the process all over from the beginning. So you got to keep current on those exposed firearm permits. They don't have any buffer or leeway on that, and they will yank it from you. Baton and pepper spray permits are good for life as long as you maintain a current guard card. Mandatory reporting for security officers. If a security officer is involved in any physical incident where a deadly weapon has been used, you must report the incident and what happened to your company or employer within 24 hours and to BSIS within 7 days after the incident. The reason why for the 7 days is in case you have to mail it. I mean, nobody mails it these days. They fax it, and you should be on the phone to BSIS as soon as the next business day when they open up. I've seen guards where, I mean, they've had everything perfectly happen, you know, and they, you know, it went past that 7 days and BSIS nailed them. So make sure you're getting those incidents into them as soon as possible. Don't rely on your employer to do this. You are individually responsible for your guard card, not your employer. Even the uniforms and badges must be BSIS approved. All security patches and badges from a security company must be approved through the Bureau of Security and Investigative Services. Security companies must be owned by a BSIS licensed private patrol operator, otherwise known as a PPO. WIM must have proper insurance and pass a written test. Security companies can only hire guard card holders as security officers.